Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, your favourite rugby show, and of course we bring you the very best of club rugby and amateur rugby in Western Province. And the good news is, of course, as you would now have heard, is that we are going to be bigger and we are moving to DSTV, but that doesn't mean that you lose your free channel. Of course, Cape Town TV still on the terrestrial, free to everybody, including another free channel being the channel 67. Which means the Cape Town TV free-to-air option is now spreading stronger and wider in the Tygerberg space. Okay, still means about 2 million viewers, so we're very happy with that. But now add on South Africa and add on the international countries into Africa with DSTV broadcast. But as we go through the season, we'll tell you more about that. All right, my usual suspects on the show this evening. Morgan Newer.
How's it, Japs? How you doing?
Good. How's the golf yesterday?
No, it was good. It was good. I didn't play my best golf, but yeah, it was good to get out there and enjoy the fresh air, I think.
So some things never change. Danny Jones. Hello, Danny.
Good day, JP.
How are you?
Good evening, everyone. I'm good, thank you.
How's matters at Province? Are you enjoying things?
Matters are good at Province. We had a good 3 weeks, so yeah, looking forward to the next 3 weeks.
Mr. H, hoe gaan met jou?
Baie goed, meneer.
Jy lyk in goeie spirits?
Ja nee, want as die blou bulle wen, dan het ek weer genoeg krag in my liggaam vir die volgende 3 maande en so.
Ons is bly om te hoor.
Ja.
Want dit means ons het dan nog krag vir die volgende 3 maande. All right, guys, we might as well get straight into it. I think this is what we've been waiting for. Let's take a look straight away at the results in Super League A and B. It was, of course, a big one over the weekend there in Super League A, but the only match played was Hamilton's against Belhar. 19-13 win for Hamilton's. And in Super League B, Brackenfell, 51-10 against Villagers. Goodwood losing to NNK, 25-17, and Kales River, it was a win for them, 33-15 against Hamlets. Hamilton's against Belhar, the only Super League A match. Morgs, 19-13 win for Hamilton's against Belhar. I believe it was a tough game.
Yeah, James, I mean, look, we all spoke about it after the game, and I think it's our toughest one of the season so far. I mean, it's testament to Super League A at the moment, to be honest. It's really been it's been a tough game, and I think if I look at the, where Belhar is sitting at the moment, I was just talking off air to Mr. H and Mr. Jones that it's unbelievable to think that they're sitting at the bottom of the log, considering the fight that they put up on Saturday and the quality of rugby that was played, all round.
Yeah, there's still a few games to go there in terms of matches on hand. Danny, when did the universities come back?
Good question, JP. I was in university 20 years ago, so I'm not too sure.
I thought you said you were in universities like last time we spoke about 10 years ago. So, okay, we're not giving away anybody.
No, I did some postgrad studies,
You did some postgrad studies, yeah, extra course, sandwich course.
Definitely.
University's away, of course, and there's going to be some changes in the log. And of course, it's the fast at the moment, Ramadan. So there's not a lot of action in Super League A.
No, there's not a lot of action. But Marty's obviously sitting on top of the log with UCT second, and so they're setting the pace. But as Morg said, that there's a lot of good rugby still being played out there, and we're going to see quite a number of surprises in the second round.
Okay, then of course in Super League B, Villagers just not getting it right at the moment. 51-10 loss for them against Brackenfell. I mean, Brackenfell were also a little bit battling in the beginning of the season, but Villagers, it's not going their way.
It's tough on them, but they'll have to just weather the storm and build slowly and get back where they want to be. Yeah. It's not one know that these things when it happen to your club, it doesn't just rectify itself overnight.
It's not as if this is the first time it's ever happened. That you go down from one league to the other. In fact, it happened to I think 24 other teams last year. In 1 year.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Welcome. And then Goodwood, getting a little bit stronger. They've been getting better and better, but still, NNK just proving too strong.
Yeah, but I heard from people that was at the Kales River match who also went to the match on the Friday night.
Yeah. That
Goodwood, could kick themselves that they didn't win that game. They played very well, and in the end they just sort of let NNK through.
Let it slide, yeah. All right, the other match, of course, was Kales River up against Hamlets, 33-15 win for Kales River. The exciting part there was Cape Rugby TV going to go and watch that match, Kales River against Hamlets. Unfortunately, the weather played against us again on the day. And I tell you, folks, the rain really kills us when we try and go to the games to film. But nevertheless, we were field side, and we did manage to watch that game. It was very exciting, a little bit wet, but still very exciting. Let's catch the highlights of the game, Kales River against Hamlets. Mr. H, though, I mean, you and I were at the side of the game. It was a lekker game. We're going to get into the whole social chat about it now. But Kailsriver, they really put the points on early in the match. And I know that they were worried about that last 20 minutes.
Yeah, but what, sort of, I found strange is when the score was 26-3 at halftime, the whole management was, upset. It said, get the score to change. Remember last week, we were 26-0 ahead and we lost the game. Get over 26. 26 is bad for us. They were all, getting excited about the 26 that was on the scoreboard. And yes, it was a great game. I mean, Hamlet's really, in the second half, they came back strongly.
Now, I must just tell the fans of the little story that happened on the side of the field. Now, Danny, you were of course in Polokwane with the Craven Week side, but I've never in my life seen, as I was standing on the side of the field, a player run. There was a break, and then the player ran off the field with the medic over his shoulder. And I thought, what on earth is going on here? Hier kom die speler met die medic. Hier van die veld afgehardloop by die medic nou seer gekry of ietsie. And then I realized it was Oko had a little bit one too many, and he was now running on the field and the player was running him off the field. And it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. But what a pleasure. The crowd there, Mr. H, I mean, they're so well organized. Ralph Mahone and his crew, they got the DJ.
Yeah, I must say, that really sets the scene for the day.
Yeah.
The DJ, and they've got their own signature tune that they play. And
they play that little
yeah, all that stuff is there.
Yeah, that was an off time.
Hey!
Isn't that the French?
Yeah, let's go to the wide shot quickly. Let's go to the wide shot.
And I must say, they've done well to get the seating covered. So, it was raining a lot, and those people were all comfortably sitting down there.
Yeah.
Previously, they had to sit in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, well done to the Kailsriver boys there. And cafeteria is well organized, everything is...
Danny makes a big difference when you're able to give at a facility to make sure that there's a place where people will sit and a roof over their heads.
Absolutely. We commend Kailsriver for what they've done over the years at their field. And all other clubs, have gone the long yards in putting up facilities and also, verandas and all those things to keep the rain out. So well done to them.
Makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
It was so entertaining. I mean, the DJ thing also adds, because, I mean, we were getting from the DJ, we were also getting commentary. Not necessarily on the game, but obviously he was giving scores and stuff. But talking about some of the people, and so I mean, he was welcoming Mr. Abrams, and he was welcoming Cape Rugby TV, and then would welcome some legend of rugby from Kelsriver. Mr. H, that
And
was
even,
lekker.
even the visiting, Modisi and those guys, they were welcome.
Yes, interesting that Mandisi Tonti was, who's from UWC, Mandisi, used to play for Kelsriver.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be on this side of the field. But there again, of course, UWC is on a break, so,
That's right.
you know.
And you know that the DJ does that free of charge to the club.
Yeah, well, there's nothing new in that. Aren't we all doing everything free of charge for the clubs? All right, that's the, but that's what it's all about. I mean, club rugby is made of volunteers. That's what the nature is. It's amateur rugby, Danny?
Absolutely. No, we're quite proud and elated at the fact that so many people are involved in our club rugby. And you're right, as volunteers, they do it for nothing, for the love of the game and with pride and passion. So without that kind of input from our community members, we would not be where we are at this point in time. And as you know, there's no doubt that Western Province Club Rugby and its club rugby system is deemed to be the best in South Africa.
Yeah. Well, I must say there was some. It really was, folks. If you haven't had a chance to go out at Kelsriver, Grant Albertine and the boys on the social media space have been pushing Cape Rugby TV, and that makes a big difference for us, knowing that you are out there watching us. So when you're asking us to come to a game, well, in this case, the fact that people had been engaging us and sending us information and talking to us on Facebook and on Twitter, we knew that Kelsriver was coming to the party and meeting us halfway. And that makes a big difference for us as Cape Rugby TV to know when to come to a club and to come to a club that is making a concerted effort to help us when we're there on the day. And getting there on the day and little things like parking and helping the volunteer cameras, this makes an enormous difference. So big thanks to the guys from Kelsriver. We're caught up with the losing captain, Diego Arendse, and of course Gavin Passons, the legend of Western Province Rugby. Gavin Passons, the coach at Hamlets. Let's hear what those boys had to say. Gavin Passons, Gavin, coach of Hamlets. It's long overdue that we have you on the show. Didn't go your way today.
No, we didn't. We know it's going to be a tough one today because all of the teams is fighting for that first place to go in the top 5. So we know it's going to be a difficult day on Kelsriver.
Maar jullie het nog steeds een paar lekker wennen gehad hierdie jaar, né?
Ja, ons het 'n paar lekker wenne gekry. Ons het nou 3 games in 'n ry gewen vir Villages, Hensenards en Goodwood.
Ja.
Maar ons gebied Kelsriver is altyd 'n tawwe team op Kelsriver.
Wat is dit wat daai soort van verskil gemaak het vir julle? In die begin van die seisoen was 'n bietjie op en af en nou blyk my die momentum begin bou.
Ja, ek dink dit was ons klub se eerste jaar in die Super League B. En die manne oefen regtig, sit alle harde werk in vir die oefensessies en alles en ek dink ons kan net van krag tot krag gaan.
Nee, wel is great om vir mense soos jy hier so te hê en om vir ons met jou te gesels is baie lekker.
Dankie JP.
Right folks, I'm with Diego Arendse. He's the captain of Hamlets. It was didn't go Hamlets way today, but Diego, wat sou jy sê wat was die twist vandag?
Ons het hier in die eerste helft het ons in die regte plek van die veld gespeel en onnodige foute veral by die afbreekpunte het Kelsriver vir ons gedomineer, maar in die tweede helft het ons dit probeer omswaai, ons het in die regte plek gespeel van die game. Op die regte tye het ons veral by die kontakpunt het ons meer manne ingestuur net om vir ons stabiliteit te gee om skoon bal te kry op ons vlei af. Ons vlei het vir ons in die hoeke gesit. En ons het ook daai uitgeskakel wat die coach gesê het vir ons van die 50-50 passes en ons one-on-one tackles moet ons gemaak het en ons het dit gedoen. Tweede helft het baie beter gegaan en ons het punte op die bord gekry. Net hier en daar wat ons sê 2 keer wat ons die bal oor die lyn gekry het.
Dis maar hoe dit gaan, die soort van die rub over the green soos die Engelsmense sê, maar dit was bietjie glibberig, né?
Ja, die bal was 'n bietjie nat, maar toe moet ons maar nader aan mekaar speel want ons wil heeltyd die bal wyd vat en toe het dit gewerk, maar later aan toe speel ons nader en die passes het ons baie kort gehou en toe werk dit vir ons op die einde van die dag. En dis het ons op 'n paar punte op die bord, maar ongelukkig kon ons nie gehaal het nie.
Wel ek dink jy moet te sad nie. Julle speel nog steeds lekker rugby en nog steeds lekker om vir Hamlets te watch.
Ja, dit is altyd lekker om vir Hamlets te speel. Ons sit baie harde werk in die week. Elke Dinsdag, Donderdag ons is in iets gedurig, maar op die einde van die dag het hierdie bal in ons kort geval.
The guy's looking a little bit depressed there, but it certainly makes a difference, Mr. H, when you've got a coach like Gavin Passons there. I mean, Hamlets is playing pretty good rugby.
Yeah, no, he's an experienced guy. He played for top unions. And I'm sure he'll, in his second year or so, he'll really put it together.
Then if you look back at club rugby and you look at previous provincial players who now coach clubs, how much of a difference does it make to have that type of experience at club level?
it makes a big difference. If one looks at Rito, it used to be at Villages, you know. Rito has played lock for Western Province Vodacom. He brings a vast experience, and I know he's assisting at Primroses, and they're quite happy to have him because he's brought a new dimension to their line-out work, etc. The same with Aniani Shimange, who has helped UCT, and I think that after the poor showing in the Varsity Cup, UCT is at the top of the log, and obviously they were just put by Martis, but they also beat Martis, and that has a lot to do with Aniani's influence at the club. I spoke to a number of players, many of them said he brings a nice, calm demeanor to the club, and obviously people look up to him because he's a Springbok.
Yeah, yeah. Morgs, I mean, you've played for the Stormers, you played for Western Province, I mean, you played for the Springboks. How much of a danger is there that a provincial coach, at least a former professional player, teaches too much professional rugby to a club who's an amateur club who maybe is only practicing twice a week?
Yeah, look, I think the danger is there, but I mean, also at the same time, I think, you know, the fact that they just don't get enough time to teach professional things, to be honest. I mean, you know, if teams are generally only training, I mean, most teams train Tuesday, Thursdays, some teams train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, but in general, if you want to teach a team, you know, what you learn at senior level, then you lead them every day, all the time, you know, so I think you impart a little bit of knowledge, or the little bit that you can, and what that helped you as a person, as a player, you impart that back at your players, then I think you're doing the right job, you know. And it's funny to see. I mean, we were talking about the top 10 coaches, and we talk about, you know, the coaches in Western Province, and there's so many players now whose teams are doing well, who got ex-players as coaches. So it's good to see them coming through.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the player ranking again a little bit later in the show. Of course, our winning captain and coach. The winning captain is Earl Johnson from Kells River, and Lionel Langenhoven, who we know quite well from the amateur and the Dyser squads. Let's catch up with winning captain and coach from Kells River. Right, folks, we're here at Kells River today. It was a big match. Kells River up against Hamlets. A good win for Kells River, 33-15, and the captain of Kells River, a very proud man today, Earl Johnson. Earl, lekker game vandaag.
Ja, nee, definitief. Na laasweekse verloor is het ons teruggekomen om te komen werk. En boys het er heel waar alles ingezet. En om vandaag van die veld af te stappen met een win betekent voor ons baie.
Wat was jullie sterkpunten vandaag?
Eerste helft, ons backline players spoed aan die buitenkant, ons het hulle gebied aan die buitenkant. So vir my, daai was ons sterkpunt vandag. Tweede helft het ons teruggekom met ons forwards, want ons 'n bietjie los geraak en toe werk ons van 'n platform af. So ja, ons backline players vandag.
En die weer, de impact gehad van jullie was niet te nat, nie, maar het was een beetje glibberig.
Ja, nee, die sand en die nattigheid op die bol maak het 'n bietjie glibberig. So dis hoekom ons besluit het om terug te kom na die forwards toe en daar vandaan af te werk weer. So ja, dis dit.
Wel, luister, maar niet te ver weg gaan nie, want ons heeft voor jou een klein surprise in een paar oomblikken.
Okay, baie dankie JP.
Folks, I got the winning coach with me, Lionel Langenhoven, no stranger to Western Province Rugby or the Cape Rugby TV show. Lionel, nice win for you guys today.
Nice win, but I'm not happy, JP. We've been very indifferent in our performances the last 2 weeks. Can't put my finger on it, but I'm not happy. They threw quality away.
But you've got extremely high standards, and we know that.
No.
But yeah, the odd sort of lost ball and odd turnover here and there, I know it can get more solid.
Yeah.
But the guys, when they get ball in hand, they look like they've got some quality.
No, we've got excellent players here, and our policy this year is to play with the team under 25 again, and it's reaping benefits. And we are a quality team, and we can beat anybody in this league if we just stuck to our guns.
Nou, jy het nou natuurlijk baie ondervinding met WP en so, en jy bring het hier so na die klub toe. Wat is die pad vorentoe vir julle?
Ons wil Super 15 speel. Diepte gaan 'n groot rol speel wanneer ons opgaan. Dit is hoekom ons met die jong manne voortgaan, en ek weet ons sal ver kom met die jong manne.
Yeah, so of course Lionel Langenhoven in the amateur squad, and of course Danny coached with the Sevens as well a little bit.
A little bit, yes,
little
but
bit.
he's been, over the last 2 years, he's been the head coach of the amateur team.
The amateur side.
And they've been very successful. They won the competition, I mean, in the Southern's competition, and just lost out in the final.
Yeah. Morgs, Earl Johnson, you seem to know him quite well.
Yeah, funny I see Earl. I know I played against Earl, obviously in Super League A. He played for Tigerberg for a few years, and then I also played Western Province Sevens with Earl. So, yeah, no surprise that he, that he's doing so well at Kells River, and he's definitely a player that leads from the front. So, yeah, sort of a feather in his cap to being captain.
Mr. H. Earl put on a lekker performance there.
Yeah, he scored a great try, which sort of turned the game around.
Yeah.
Out of nothing really. You saw him floating through there.
But now, when you were on the side there, it was a close call. I mean, there were at least you mentioned that there were at least 3 players that could have walked away with the man of the match.
Yes, the wing, the number 14, he was quite good. Also the other wing, and the number 1 and number 6, Eastus, you know.
Yeah.
Eastus, I don't know when he's ever going to stop playing, but he's just there all the time, you know. He turns the balls over. He's just in the way of the opponents all the time.
Anyway, it did end up that Earl Johnson was our Tata man of the match. Tata Westenberg, Tata Paul Valley, giving R1,000 to a club rugby player. Let's catch up now with the man of the match and the president of Kelsriver giving him a check for R1,000 courtesy of Tata Westenberg and Paul Valley. See what happens. All right, folks, it is now time for our Tata man of the match. Of course, R1,000 weekly to a Cape Rugby TV club rugby player, courtesy of Tata Westenberg and Tata Paul Valley. And we had him on the show earlier on, of course, our captain of Kelsriver, Earl Johnson. Earl, jy het maar lekker 3 dae geskoor.
Ja, nee, wat JP, ek kon dit net doen saam met die harde werk van die boys. So daai R1,000 gaan eintlik aan hulle. So vanaand sal ons saam vier daai R1,000 so.
Wel, ek het vir jou 2 pryse vandag. Ek het vir jou nou hierso 'n lekker cap van Bellville Glass af.
Ja.
So jy kan daai Bellville Glass cap op jou hoed druk, op jou kop druk. Daar sê ja, en dan gaan ek vir jou president van Kelsriver, Ralph Mahone, vra om vir jou R1,000 check hierso te bring. Hy gaan met jou hand skud. En dan daar sê hy nou vir jou onthou, jy kan nie die ene in die masjien indruk nie. The president of Kelsriver, yeah, Ralph, you've got a fantastic outfit here.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the boys. They are really very motivated and dedicated. They work hard, and the result is evident of that.
And with young talent like this, who's got so much potential,
Yeah.
I mean, it was an incredible try there. No, it was a tough call between your front ranker, number 1 there, and the 8th man, Earl over here. It was really close. I mean, your number 1 there had a fantastic game. He's also got huge talent. He put on an enormous hit there, but it did go to Earl. But to have young guys like this, and as Lionel was saying, you're nurturing the talent.
Yes, very much so. Our youngsters, we're very proud to have youngsters as well as senior players in our team, in our squad, and the youngsters are really putting their hand up. They are really working hard, and I think they will go very far.
En dan voordat ons nou gaan hierso, vertel ons gou en dan 'n lekker gemeenskap hierso. Julle het 'n lekker paar stands. Julle mense is op die social media. Julle het 'n MC hierso wat die ding lekker losruk. soos ons voorheen gesien het by julle awards aan daai aand. Maar dit gaan hom goed hierso in terme van die gemeenskap en die facilities wat julle hier het.
Ja, absoluut. Kyk, ons is baie gemeenskap georiënteerd. Alles wat ons doen, probeer ons die gemeenskap betrek. En die gemeenskap is baie betrokke en hulle gee hulle samewerking. En die jaar is niemand definitief die klub na 'n hoër vlak. Ek het 'n baie goeie verhouding met die stad Kaapstad en ons het hard gewerk om hierdie paviljoen ook te kry. So ons is nou nog besig om nog verdere dinge vir die klub te kry.
Dit vat natuurlik mense wat bereid is om hard te werk. So Ralph, weer eens aan jou, baie wel gedaan. Dit was lekker om vandag hier te wees. En Earl, aan jou, die Tata man of the match, ek gaan met jou ook handskud.
Baie dankie.
Soos ek sê, dis R1,000 vir jou en congratulations. So Ralph Mahone, very happy there. Mr. H, a great initiative from Ralph as a leader there at Kelsriver, making sure the crowd is there. It's all about him. Well, I wouldn't say all about him.
Yeah,
but I mean, he
well,
brings it together.
he's got a great team underneath him, you know.
Yeah.
Captain Smith and those guys, they
Johan
Smith. They work hard in the club, you know, and make things happen. I always watch when the game is finished, you know, and see what happens. And you see the other guys go out, take off the pole protectors, take off the flags. That shows that there's some order and there's some organization at the club. And that happened there also.
That's interesting.
They go, you know. Others leave. On Saturday, Monday they come back, the stuff is lying there.
Yeah.
All stolen.
All stolen.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Danny, they come knocking on your door for more pole protectors.
That's true. But then, of course, we say we don't have because we don't have.
You don't have because you don't have. Anyway, yeah, all right. So it's time for us to take an ad break. And when we come back, we'll start taking at some of the a look at some of the other results in Division 1, Premier League A, B, and down the divisions and into the Paarl region and the Simonsburg region. We'll be back with you in a sec. Some interesting results also coming out of the other leagues. Let's take a look quickly at Premier League A and B. Paarl, 33-36. Well, a win for St. George's. They'll be very happy with that. Elsies Rafir going down to Kraaifontein. Macassar losing to Silurians. That was a derby match. And in the Strand, Young People's 27-14 win for them over the Strand in Premier League B. While in Division 1, Wraithby beating Silverleaf at least. While in Division 2, Masipumulele 13-10 over Kylemore. All Saints 22-10 against Gardens Tech. Blue Jets losing to Blue Stars. And in Division 3, Richmond Rangers, well, it was not a good day for them, losing to Temperance 23-18. And Cloutiesville beating Retreat 14 points to 13. Imikawi going down to Young Ideas 19 points to 14. And in Division 4, Bishop Lavis going down to Police. Gentlemen, if we look at some of those results there, I would have to say some of the derby matches, but the one that stands out, Mr. H, would have to be Silurians against Macassar.
Yeah,
that was
close call.
Close call.
When we looked at the stats of Macassar for the last 8 weeks or 9 weeks, now you suddenly see that they lost the game, and now suddenly they've been put under pressure.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But that's good. That's good for the rugby.
But it's funny how these derby matches work, because that's the match that we saw. That there were like 3,000 odd spectators last time, and the little embarrassment that Silurians had last week, because they were. I mean, really, if you see a club that's got bragging rights, they grab onto it with both hands. I mean, Danny, the bragging rights to have 100% strike rate. I mean, all your newsletters you've been writing now for the last couple of weeks have been talking about the clubs, and there's only been about 5 or 6, and they all lost it, except for the one in Lamont in the Paarl region. But when they got the bragging rights for anything, even when it was Perseverance against Temperance, they grabbed that bragging rights with whatever they can.
Absolutely. I went to watch a bit of the Silurians versus Collegians, and I must say Collegians played very well. They used the conditions. I suppose they're used to the conditions, the strong wind at Lentegeur, but they used it well. And then I suppose they hung on to to that lead, and they were successful at the end of the day. And I think that today, it's about the teams are unbeaten, the other team wants to beat them. And as you said, that's what Perseverance did against Temperance, and I'm quite happy with that victory.
Yeah. You're of course are you a former Perseverance player?
I am a former Perseverance player. Temperance was always a tough team to beat, but it's always nice getting one over Temperance.
Was that when City and Suburban was still joined? When it was still a union?
Yeah, that was before 91. But Perseverance was always a big team at City Park,
Yeah.
And of course, that's the time when Mr. H was still the secretary of the union. He played until I think he was 41 or 2, because Lansdowne. They always needed a few players to make up the second team to third teams.
But the secretary was, of course, a big position in those days. Eh? The secretary is the main man.
Absolutely, the whole organization revolves around that person, and so
Yeah. The other interesting match that sort of jumps out for me is Imikawi, and when we were at Strand Pioneers, Mr. H, Strand Pioneers were very concerned about Imikawi being sort of their nemesis, and yet Imikawi lost to Young Ideas on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean now, Max Macapella and those guys, they will be very, very happy, because they see Imikai as youngsters compared to them. They're longer in the union and in the system.
Yeah.
So they will be very glad that they won that one.
Well, Young Ideas has been playing good rugby. They run at the top of that log. All right, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the results in the Paarl region and, of course, in the Simmonsburg region. We'll be back with you in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Of course, Cape Rugby TV. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and share your information with us. Share your scores. Quite often we get all those scores and results in before anybody else, and it helps a lot, because there's so many fans that immediately know what the scores are. And don't forget that hashtag #WP Club Rugby, that back channel on Twitter where we keep sharing the scores on a Saturday. I know things are a little bit more quiet at the moment, but keep that momentum going, because there's still, I think, in excess of, how many clubs would we say now? Probably 35 clubs that are still, 35 matches. So we're talking about still 80 to 95 clubs that are still playing every weekend. It's because it's a handful of Muslim clubs and then a handful of universities that are on a break at the moment. All the other clubs, are, unless they're having a bye.
Yeah.
Around about 70 clubs.
70 clubs, Danny?
Yeah.
So just give us the procedure in terms of the scores and results from the union point of view. The clubs, they have to get their scores in on a Sunday night to be ready for the media for a Monday morning.
Yeah, we encourage all clubs to please send through the results. The quicker they send through the results, the quicker you and Faisal and the team can put it in the logs on, because quite a number of people respond to the logs. So immediately when a club score is not available, the logs are not updated, and that's the difficulty. And people, they do believe that the logs is important, and they want to see the club, especially the club has won. They want to see the scores on the board so that the club moves up the log table.
Yeah, absolutely. The log table is now becoming the big thing that people are looking, especially when you get closer to the end of the season. So
yeah, no, they see that as the fact, They would actually call in to say there's something wrong with the logs and etc.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at those results now in the Paarl region. Young Gardens losing to Lower Paarl 25-19. Lower Paarl turning out to be quite strong. We'll see that in the coaches' rankings. Young Standards and Riverstones a 1 point margin there. Allendale going down Simondium 7 points to 5. And then in the Simonsburg region, Pumas beating Languedoc 24 points to 5. Lamotte beating Lewandle 20-0. But now I can tell you that that's not a real score. Well, my guess is that is not a real score. That looks like a club that has not put their scores in. 20 points to 0. And then the final result there, Fora against Blue Stars. A solid result, 25 points to 5. Now, Danny, the scenario there with the Lewandle Lamotte is it was either the scores were not put in or the game was cancelled. And it looks like, I mean, Mr. H, you also know this from years of administrating the scores, that Lamotte, to give them the 5 points, because the game was either cancelled for some other reason. Do we have any background on that from either of you?
No, I think if it's 20-0, it means it could be 20-0, but it could also mean that the match never took place. That's the reason why it's 20-0.
And when it's 20-0, Danny, the clubs get
they get the maximum points because it says that 4 tries has been scored.
Right.
So that's
and then that gives you your bonus point.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, folks, there you understand a little bit of the background now of the club's logs and scoring system. Right. Now, we did have the spot the ball competition, but as you know, last week due to technical difficulties, we were unable to broadcast the show, and we did still show the repeat on a Friday at 2 p.m. and don't forget the repeat on a Saturday. And we share the photograph for the spot the ball competition. When we run the competition, we share it on Facebook. But many of you didn't have an opportunity to see it on the show last week, so we're continuing with the competition. Now, let's take a look at the spot the ball competition. Remember, you can find it on Facebook at www.facebook.com, and let's see if you can find the ball. Right, so there you see it now. All you need to do is tell us which grid the ball is in. Is it A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, or C3? Now, if you spot the ball correctly, you can put yourself in a situation to win a Cape Rugby TV t-shirt as well as a Lexar flash disc. All right, Lexar flash drives and flash discs is what the cameramen use, those guys that take those snappy pictures at Newlands and need a high memory kind of cards. It's a very high quality flash drive. Okay, so you can win yourself a Cape Rugby TV t-shirt. In fact, I think I have one here somewhere. We'll grab one there in a second or so. The logs, we're going to take a look at the logs in a minute. But put yourself in the mix. Go to the Cape Rugby Facebook page. Go have a look at the Spot the Ball competition. And you got the t-shirt there, Morgs? There we go.
There we go, James.
Thank you very much. There we go. Right, folks. The Cape Rugby TV t-shirt, as you can see. And this t-shirt is now becoming nice and popular. I'm seeing a couple of fans wear these t-shirts. There you go. Cape Rugby TV, the logo in the front. And at the back, it says, Cape Rugby TV, loving club rugby. Right. Well, it doesn't say it in that voice, but something like that. All right. Danny, we haven't given you a Cape Rugby TV shirt yet, have you? This is a double XL. Will that fit you?
Certainly it would, because I'm suffering in this XL here.
All right. Morgan, I think you can give Danny a Cape Rugby TV t-shirt there. I know Mr. H has got a number of Cape Rugby TV t-shirts. We sometimes think that the t-shirts we give him he sells for extra sakgeld. Mr. H, you still got your shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wearing with pride. Okay, let's take a look now at the logs in the Super League A. And Durban are still at the top with Hamilton's in second place. The chase will be on when Marty's UCT come back to the park. SK Warmers in 5th place. Steinhoff, Vix, Tygerberg, Helderberg, Belleville, and Belhar. While in Super League B, Primrose, Falls Bay, UWC, Kales River, NNK, Hamlets, Goodwood, Hands and Arts, Brackenfell at the bottom, and Villages right at the bottom. So that would have been a struggle between those two teams. In Premier League A, Solarians, Collegians, they are firmly at the top on 55 and 54. And in Premier League B, Milnerton again and Young People still dominating there. While in Division 1, Violet, Silverleaf, Lagunya, Wraithby, Stelkor at the bottom, Northern struggling a little bit, and Rocklands also battling in Division 1. Division 2's Masipumalele still dominating on 51 points and lying in 1st place, even though they did lose to Caledonian Roses last week and were knocked off the perch. All Saints in 3rd, Blue Jets in 4th. While at the bottom, Blue Stars, Gardens Tech, and Watsonia are struggling along. Watsonia is certainly not having a good season, losing not so long ago to Masipumalele, 100 points to 0. Australian Pioneers on the top on Division 3 with, as we mentioned before, Imikawi, their nemesis. But you'll remember now that Imikawi lost to Young Ideas over the weekend. Richmond Rangers and Perseverance, Mr. Danny Jones' former club, lying right down at the bottom of Division 3. Danny, would you have any comments there? I mean, what exactly is going on with your former Perseverance, your team?
I think they're hitting rock bottom, and the only way is up now. You know, so I'm looking forward to the second round.
Every cloud is a silver lining.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty.
I'll be keeping my fingers crossed and my thumbs up for Perseverance, but I think it's going to be a tough second round for them.
Oh, well, I tell you something, they might, but you know what, even as at the bottom of the log, they're still better than Temperance.
Yeah.
The stage.
Yeah, well, they beat Temperance.
Well, they've got the bragging
But
rights.
you know, like we said previously, whether they're at the bottom or where, they still play every Saturday.
Yeah.
There's still a group of people that enjoy being there on a Saturday. Well, I don't know if they actually enjoy it to lose every week, but you know, like the day when they beat Temperance.
Yeah, but
that was a big thing for them.
it was a heck of a thing over there. You know what, when the game finished, nobody really cared, as long as the Poiki was on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, for
How much
sure.
of a difference does Cecil Latergan make at that club?
Oh, it's a huge difference. Those are the people that, you know, they're the backbone of those clubs. You know.
He's an honorary life member of Western Province?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Danny?
he's a trustee of the union.
Yeah.
But he is the backbone of the club. You know, he's been there. I think he's been the chairperson for over 30 years, and he has a big influence over what has happened over the years. And the fact that the club is still alive, I think they're 123 years old. Cecil most probably was involved in all 123 years.
All right, then let's now look at the results. Before the show gets way out of hand, we start tuning the old-time memories. Might have to bring out a vinyl record, probably one of those things. In actual fact, I might even have to bring out an old gramophone that you have to turn like this with a big thing in the earpiece like that. All right, so let's take a look now at the logs in Division 4. Bishop Lavers are at the top of Khayelitsha with Police in 3rd place. Police climbing the ranks there. Delton City's right at the bottom. In the Paarl region, Lower Paarl, Vineyards and Allendale. While in the Simonsburg region, Lamont firmly on top, 4 Excelsior Pumas. They're doing very well. Folks, it is now time for us to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the fan pick of the week. We'll be back with you in a sec. Well, there you go, folks. Tada is goodbye for sure. Once again, our fan pick of the week. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that fans sent in on Facebook and on Twitter. We've got some great pictures here. And again, Carla Norkia at the top of the park. Nice picture there from Carla. Seeing a picture in there for Johan Kotze with a great run. Of course, playing for Brackenfell. Right, top coaches ranking. So you want to know who the top coaches are in Western Province Rugby? Who are the top coaches in Western Province? Time for us to take a look at those rankings again, and you'll be surprised. Well, Simonsburg, the farm region, Mark Titus, still with a 100% strike rate. Ishmael Dolly from Milnerton, number 2 best coach currently in, or at least Mark Goliath on points difference. Mark Goliath, then Ishmael Dolly, Herman Masimla from Primrose, JP Zali from Solarians, Warren Edwards from Masipumalele, Marius Haynes, Maxwell Bakoy from Khayelitsha, Chris Rousseau, and Kevin Musicant from False Bay. Those are currently your best coaches in Western Province Rugby as the stats show. Okay, of course it changes every week before we have anybody panicking out there. All right, how interesting is this, Mr. H, if you look at the story?
Yeah, I already, see how people are saying. Now, if he's so good, why is he not? Why in Western Province appoint him?
Yeah.
Or why is that guy with Western Province and he's not even anywhere here in the top 10?
Well, so it is a question of perspective. When you're playing in Super League A, the challenges are different, the environment is different, the money is different. And okay, you can be the best coach, but you can only work with what you've got. And then if you can go down Division 3, your challenges are different. You've got people who are unemployed, people who are hungry, people who don't have clothes, facilities, and so on and so on. So I wonder if you take I wonder if you take Jake White or whoever, Francois Pinault, and tell him to go and coach in Division 3, and let's see how you'll do at ground level in the community. It's not that easy. It's different set of challenges, different perspective, and it's almost like considering it as a golfing handicap. It's an equal par. You can't really measure it. Morgs?
Yeah, look, Jeb, I think it's it's all about resources that the coaches have at their disposal. Often certain coaches adopt great teams, and then they sort of just follow suit, and then other coaches come and start from scratch and build a team over 5 years. You always hear about this process, and they come along and they build a team on a 5-year or a 2-year process, and then how do you judge which one's better between the two? So no, I think it's every coach has got his strengths and weaknesses, and it's just about knowing your players and then being able to implement your game plans.
Well, at the end of the day, the numbers, the facts are conclusive. These are currently the coaches who, in their environment, did a better coach than another coach in his environment. Danny, I don't know how you guys feel about it from a union point of view. It's the first time probably in the history of Western Province Rugby that we've looked at it statistically like this. It's a different way of looking at it. It's obviously not cast in stone. None of these coaches are going to coach the next World Cup side.
No, that's true. I do think there's a number of good coaches who've been mentioned in the top 10, and there's a number of good who's not on the top 10 because of the various criteria or whatever we're using. But I do think that it's at least a guide for certain coaches to measure themselves. Obviously, each one has the club has their own criteria around who and what it needs to take to be successful. But at least it gives a number of coaches an idea where they stand.
Yeah.
And the main thing is it's around winning. So I suppose that's a tough criteria, but it's there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's just another one. We could pull the facts out a different way. We could probably measure it. I don't know. Number against a coach with the least yellow cards. Most games played and yellow cards. We do statistics like that. Or you can go games played and red cards. Let's see who's the best coach with the least. There's lots of different ways one can have this. Have a bit of fun.
It does make very interesting reading that a club, farm club, no facilities, no resources, coming into the Western Province setup for the first time, and their coach is right at the top.
Yes,
but I must also. Great story.
It is a great story that our best coach in Western Province at the moment is Mark Titus from Lamotte in the Simonsburg region, according to the ranking, so to speak. But I must also remind you that Western Province Rugby did just give them 5 points for free.
Oh, yeah. 20 for sure. I think he phoned that club to say, don't rock up, because my rankings is important.
Well,
you might have picked up a few like that.
I mean, think about it. If you're in Division 3 and you're looking for a good coach, and you now need to find a coach, you might just go look a little bit of headhunting and how you're going to make your decisions. You're going to preferably look at according to statistics. Now, a coach who won 100% record in the Division 4, why would you not want him to come and coach at your team? Or likewise. I mean, if Alistair Kutsia has a 100% strike rate, he's going to be looked at as the Springbok coach. If Heineke Meyer has a 100% strike rate, he's probably going to retain his job as a Springbok coach. I mean, it's all about numbers at the end of the day.
No, that's true. But you also know that I think 2015, every coach in South Africa needs to be accredited. So, and starting with the IRB level 1. Now, many of our coaches do have IRB level 1s.
Yeah.
And 2, of course, but before, as I said, in 3 years' time, every coach needs to be accredited.
All right. So there you go, folks. If you're a coach, you need to be accredited or no more coaching. And don't forget, if you're a coach, you also need to have box smart. No box smart, no playing. No end of the rugby there for you. So we suggest that you make sure that you follow all those criteria. Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Okay, so you want to win for yourself a Synergy Whey Protein, a shaker, and some water bottles and a tray, 33280. Okay, that's the number on your cell phone. There you go. This is the product that the Stormers use. They've had a fantastic season. Well, certainly against the Bulls, it was a good win last week. Who would have thought and that they would come out with those numbers? Well, I did, because that's what my Super Brew prediction said. Whereas some other panel members came up with the win by 1 or a win by 2 scenario. Whereas Mr. H, I believe you might be our Super Brew prediction cap holder this week. Morgs, am I right?
That's very correct, Japes. Yeah, Mr. H is reluctantly, I handed over to Mr. H.
Reluctantly you handed over? Okay, because I, of course, didn't put my scores in. Okay, so okay, Mr. H, before I do the Evox competition, congratulations, there's your cap.
Thank you, sir.
You are the Super Brew, and I'm going to just stretch over here. There you go, look at Mr. H. Oh, he loves that cap. Okay, so you want to win for yourself the Synergy 33280. You get the tray for your club, all right? You give this to your club, because we all know that you can never have enough water bottle trays. They're very handy, and of course a Shaker 600, which goes together with that for you. Okay, so who was last week's winner? Well, there you can see it on the screen now. If you want to enter the competition, SMS your name and answer to 33280. Last week's winner, of course, congratulations to Tony George. Tony walks away with a Synergy hamper, the tray for his club, and of course the Shaker 600. Right, there's some interesting games coming up this weekend. Bellville are up against Tygerberg. Hamilton's and Durbell, that's going to be an absolute monster of a match, and that is the match that we are going to this weekend. We have still not featured Durbell, and of course Hamilton's were only on before the season, so that is the game that we're going to check out. Durbell against Hamilton's, they're playing at home game. Super League B is Hamilton, False Bay, NNK and Brackenfell. Villagers take on Goodwood, while in Premier League A, Pernille Villagers take on Paul. Kraaifontein, Macassar, Langa take on Young Peoples. Division 1 is Rocklands and Wraithby, Silverleaf and Northerns, Atlantis, Boland B, or at least Busy Bees. Division 2 is Carlamore and Young Wesley's, Blue Stars, All Saints. Division 3, Peninsula Temperance, Whistling Wheels and Young Ideas. Cities take on Kailich in Division 4. Progress up against Bishop Lavis, also in Division 4. While in the Paarl Rangers, Allendale, Young Standards, Young Gardens, Windmill and Violets, Albions and Riverstones, Parel United and Lower Paarl. Right, there you go. Those are your fixtures for the weekend. Leisure Hotels is a kind supporter of the Cape Rugby TV show. If you want to win yourself a night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at a Leisure Hotels, all you need to do is SMS the word leisure to 33280. You see it on your screen right now. So, Leisure Hotels, your hotel of choice. They have just kind of been looking after that second World Gym for Life Challenge, which was held in the CTICC. So, Leisure Hotels, make sure you enter that competition. SMS the word leisure to 33280. 33280. Right, let's take a look at these Super 15 fixtures coming up this weekend. There's going to be some interesting fixtures there. And there, it's the Crusaders who take on the Reds, and the Brumbies take on the Cheetahs. These are, of course, the playoff fixtures. Those are your playoff fixtures. Only 2 matches this weekend, and it will be the Crusaders and the Reds, the Brumbies and the Cheetahs. All right, gentlemen, we don't really have time for a prediction here, but we must, of course, just say that Hamilton's up against Durval. This is going to be the game of the weekend. Morgs, you'll be captaining Hammies. Am I right, Ron?
Yeah, well, we announced the team tonight, so
hopefully he's in the team.
We'll see about that. I hope so, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tough match, though, either way.
Don't embarrass the crew, please.
Yes, Morgs, please. The whole crew is coming out there. I think, Danny, you're going to join us?
I'll definitely join you.
It's a big game.
Yeah.
Maybe we can even get some of the professional rugby players out there who are now on a break. It'd be nice for them to come down to a club for a change. Morgs, but it'll be a tough match.
No, it's going to be a tough match. We've been eyeing this one for a while now. We're looking forward to getting one over Durban and hopefully, keeping it that way and getting into the Community Cup for next year.
Yeah, well, considering that loss that you guys had at home, well, you weren't playing for Hamilton at the time, you were playing for Marty's, but that last game of the season last year, Mr. Ace, Durban just put the hammers on Hamilton's. Hamilton's be looking to bounce back. Danny, just a quick one. It was a successful time for the Craven Week side. We've got about 20 seconds left.
Very successful. We beat the Bulls 36. We beat the Leopards 50-21. And we beat, in the final, we beat the Lions 45-29.
So all in all, things are standing good for the youth rugby coming through to push up and make it into the Stormers and Currie Cup and Vodacom side.
Absolutely, JP. We won the Under-13 Craven Week. We beat the Bulls 12-11 in the final. We won the Under-16 Grand Cormo Week. We beat the Bulls also in the final there, 22-17 I believe, and we won the Elsen's week in Port Elizabeth, and the girls team, under 16 girls and under 18 girls, won their competition, and in the academy week we only lost one game. So out of 7 tournaments we won 6, and roughly it's about over 30, almost 30 games, and we only lost one game. So junior rugby is healthy in Western Province.
Right, so you've basically won everything except for one.
Yeah.
Well, we're very happy that you're back in Cape Town.
Well, I'm happy to be back too. I missed all of you guys, and I miss club rugby. Yeah, and I miss Cape rugby.
Mr. H, with the absolute dreaded fear that I have in my mind right now that you might sleep in that cap tonight, we will
do so.
we will see Hamilton's against Durban.
Yeah, we'll do.
Morgs, have a good luck for the weekend. We wish both sides the very best.
Thanks, chaps.
And Danny, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the show soon. Hopefully Mr. Wakefield will come and join us soon.
He will. You must just give me the date, and I'll get him here.
Well,
Definitely.
there's a permanent chair there for both of you guys, so the invitation is permanently extended.
Thank you,
There
Jacob.
you go, folks. That is a wrap of Cape Rugby TV. You can join us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Join us this weekend, Saturday, Stephen A. Field, Hamilton's against Durban. It is a, call it top of the charge table clash when Hamilton's take on Durban. Come and join us. That's a wrap. Stay warm. Please share a thought for the other folks that are cold out there, and the very best to our Muslim listeners, or viewers at least, who are currently fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. Have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.